Mm. So we are now in Siman Samech Gimel, continuing the blessings of Shema. And some of the halachot we learned already. We mentioned them in the past. So we'll go relatively fast through the Siman. We won't read all of the halachot. And we'll start from a very interesting topic. Although it's one halacha, but it brings a question, can I be machmir when there's no need to be machmir? Can I say, okay, I'm allowed to do such a thing, but I want to be more frum. I want to be more religious, more yirat Hashem, more connect to Hashem. On kashrut, in different cases, can I decide, okay, everyone, it's fine, but I decide to be more machmir. To, instead of being lenient, I want to be a bit more stringent. That's the question here. So what do you think the answer is? Everyone is machmir, right? I just heard today share about hidur mitzvah, about taking nice mitzvot. You can buy a nice arbat minim for, I think, 50 shekels, not nice, kosher, 60 shekels, yeah. And I think most people, they look for the 80, 100, 120, yeah, 150 shekels, right? People look for the nicer ones. So everyone wants a nice mitzvah. Kashruyot, no one will say that a certain kashrut isn't kosher, right? But some people say, okay, that I don't eat. I want to eat something which is the most stringent, right? We do it in many aspects of our life. And here we have a halacha which we mentioned in the past, and here the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch say, no, here you can't be more stringent. So it brings a question of why. So let's read it. We mentioned, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm not sure, there's an argument between Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, how to interpret the pasuk of Shochbecha uvkumecha. We recite Shema when we lie down, when we go to sleep, and when we rise up. Is it more of a time, like Beit Hillel said, that's what the halacha would say, we recite Shema in the normal time of people to go to sleep and the normal time of people to go to bed. By the way, you can see from here that the normal time of people to go to sleep was more or less when the sun goes down and stars come out. And the normal time of waking up is when the sun starts coming out. Okay, depending from dusk and dawn, when exactly you count it, but that's more or less the time. If you go to sleep early, you can also wake up early. Right? Today, usually I wake up in the winter before it's even it's still dark outside. Before Hadar Shachar. But today we have lights and we have alarm clocks and we have so they wake us up. Otherwise, the rooster doesn't wake us up at whatever time it is. So Beit Hillel understand the pasuk of B'shachbecha of Kumecha, when you lie down and when you rise up, is more of a time when people go to sleep and when people wake up. Beit Shammai understand the pasuk as the position of the body. How do we recite Shema? When you lie down, you recite Shema sitting or leaning down as if you're going to bed. And when you rise from Kumecha, it's from standing, so you have to stand up when you recite Shema. So here comes the question, I'm in shul, in Shachrit, okay, it's Shachrit now. Can I stand up for Shema? We paskin like a Beit Hillel, that it's more of a time. It's not the aspect of the position of the body, but I want to be a frumer. I want to be more stringent. I want to be good for everyone. And I want to stand up when we recite Shema. So can I do it? So Harry says, yes. And why is that? Well, you have all the opinions, right? You have all the opinions. So here we have, and that's, you would think that's how Rabbi Tarfon, in the Mishnah, he held like you. He was going probably getting towards the evening, and it came the time of Shema, and he says, "Veiteti likro kedivrei Beit Shammai." Leaned down to recite Shema like Beit Shammai. But for some reason, the Mishnah doesn't explain exactly what happened. He put himself in danger. There are probably robbers or other bad gangs of people walking around there. And because he leaned down and he got in danger because of them. Okay, so the Mishnah doesn't say exactly what happened there, but he came in danger. And his friends tell him, you deserve it because you didn't follow the words of Beit Hillel. So you deserve it because you didn't follow the words of Beit Hillel. Beit Hillel said, you do not need to lean in the Shema of the evening, and you don't need to stand up for Shema of the nighttime, right? Of the daytime. So just keep in your position. And here comes the question, why? When do we say I can be stringent? And when do we say that's the halacha and that's it? Okay, so that's the question I will begin with. Let's just read the Shulchan Aruch. מי שרוצה להחמיר, someone who wants to be מחמיר, wants to be more stringent, and we're talking here on the Kriyat Shema of the daytime, ולעמוד כשהוא יושב ולקרותה מעומד, and when he sits, he's now sitting down, he wants now to stand up and to read it when he's standing up, so he is called עבריין. How do you translate עבריין? I'll check it. A criminal. Okay, so he's called a criminal. Why is he called a criminal? What did he do? He just wanted to stand up, to be like also Beit Shammai. So we have a few reasons. Okay, a few reasons. One reason is more halachically reason, and one is more, let's think of the public. And I think the second reason, I think we can really connect to it and see something which is important aspect for life. But let's start first with the halachic, more of the halachic issue. According to Beit Shammai, one should stand up when he recites Shema on Shachrit, right? According to Beit Hillel, there's no meaning in standing up. It doesn't give you anything in standing up. Okay, it doesn't give you anything. Usually when we have questions, let's say let's go kashrut questions. Okay, let's take sherry cask whiskey. Okay, sherry cask, whiskey which was in wine, right? In the wine barrels, so sherry casks. So even the one who says you can drink whiskey, which is sherry cask, also he will agree, I can understand you if you want to refrain from sherry casks whiskey, right? I can understand the opinion which are more stringent, right? When one takes a simple etrog, and there's a nice etrog next to him, even if I say this etrog is kosher, you look at the etrog and say, okay, that one is it's better, right? There's something into it, it's better. When you go to a specific kashrut, it's a simple kashrut. So even the people who follow the simple kashrut, they'll say, okay, this is simple kashrut, but it's fine. But the other kashrut, obviously, it's better, right? Everything you find, building a sukkah or tefillin, right? Everyone agrees. Okay, this writing of the tefillin of the mezuzah, it's fine. It's not. It's kosher. Doesn't look nice. Doesn't look nice.
It doesn't make an asur.
Doesn't make an asur. He says, okay, but there is something in having the better one. You can have also the simple one, but there is something in having the better option, right? According to Beit Hillel, there's no meaning at all in standing up. If someone stood up, fine. There's nothing. Okay, so you stand up, it's nothing. It's meaningless. So when one tries to be stringent, and we follow Beit Hillel, and doing something which is meaningless, well, why are you doing it? It's meaningless. There's no point in standing. Right? There's no point at all. It's trying to think of a good example because that's a very unique case we have here. One shouldn't change the nusach of his tefillah, the text of his tefillah, this tradition of davening, to a different tradition. And it says in the name of the Mukubalim that there's 12 like gates up in heaven, and each custom has its own gate in heaven to achieve to get this tefillah through it. So I daven Ashkenaz, my friend davens Sfarad. Ashkenaz is great, Sfarad is great. There's no reason to transfer from Ashkenaz to Sfarad, right? Unless there's other reasons which are more personal. But otherwise, there's no reason why to do it, right? So if you are Ashkenaz, stay Ashkenaz. If you are Sfarad, stay Sfarad. Maybe that's not a good example because I changed from Sfarad to Ashkenaz. But the reason was that I learned in a school which was Ashkenaz. I learned in a Sephardi school, and we had a small group that davened Ashkenaz. So I was with them, so as a young child. So obviously I moved to Ashkenaz because that's what my friends davened in school. So I had to daven with them and I got used to Ashkenaz.
Today it seems Sepharad seems to be more dominant or popular.
Sfarad is more dominant in the Dati Leumi world in Israel. Right. But if you go to the States, I think that Ashkenaz is much more dominant. If you go to the Litvish world, Ashkenaz is more dominant, right? And the Hasidic world, in the Hasidic world, so Sfarad is more dominant, right? Yeah. Yes, Sfarad. Yeah. So everyone has a custom, and state that there's no reason to change. The same here. There's no meaning in standing up. That doesn't still explain why is he called a criminal. And there's another reason is that if one stands and everyone can see him, so there's two things might happen here. First, people might think that you need to stand. Okay? People might think you need to stand. He's standing, so obviously you need to stand. And they will learn that the halacha is like a Beit Shammai. And no, we want to teach people the halacha is like Beit Hillel. Okay, you don't need to stand. So when one stands, he might be influencing other people and teaching them bad things. What happens if one says, always grows, I need to stand, we need to stand, we need to stand. And all of a sudden, he can't stand for some reason. He's on a plane, he's in the bus. He's scared of standing, everything is moving. He says, well, I need to stand. I can't stand up now, so maybe I just won't recite Shema. I'll stay silent. Going to Beit Hillel. Say Shema. It doesn't matter. Just say Shema the way you are. So it might cause a problem. Okay, so something here that a criminal is someone who has a bad influence on other people. So if someone follows Beit Shammai, he might teach them, hey, the halacha is like Beit Shammai, and we're going to know, no, the halacha is like Beit Hillel, don't have any mistakes. So that's a reason for a criminal. And another reason is, and that we will just mention it, we won't go into it in depth, although it's a very fascinating topic. It's what we call yuhara. Okay, yuhara. Yuhara, yeah, I need to get the, no. I'm not sure what's the best translation for it. To be pride, someone, it's not really pride. Arrogant, more to be arrogant. Okay, and someone says he isn't sure, and he all of a sudden stands up, and everyone knows you don't need to stand up. Oh, everyone sits down. This is a fruma guy, and I'm the great guy here. Hey, look at me, I'm standing up, right? So that's called Yohara. He's doing something which seems he wants more that. He's not doing it Hashem Shamayim, it's more the attention he wants to get from it. And many, many things, when we do things, we need to make sure we aren't arrogant. We want to do it L'Shem Shamayim for the sake of the mitzvah, and that's another reason why it's a problem to stand up. Okay. What if a person is walking? Okay, he's walking. Let's say he's coming into shul. He's coming into shul. He's walking on the way. So when we walk and recite Shema, it seems like as if Shema is just on the way. The main thing, I'm walking now, and on the way, by the way, I'm also reciting Shema. I'm saying here a few words. Therefore, at least for the first pasuk, one should stand and say the first pasuk of Shema, and then he can continue walking. Okay, so the first pasuk, at least stand. If one is walking, stop. He doesn't need to sit down. He just needs to stop, stand as he is. Say the first pasuk, and then he can continue walking to his place or wherever he's going to. Sometimes it happens if I'm late to shul, and I calculate sometimes you know the exact times of the minyans. You look at the watch, you know it. Now it's exactly 8:15 we'll be starting, exactly at 8:17 we'll be here. Yeah? And you say, 1 second, I'm late to shul. I want to be together with the minyan when they get towards the Kaddish. So you can start saying the tefillah before and on the way to shul. Because you're in a hurry to shul, you want to join the minyan. But when you get to the first pasuk of Shema, at least for that, stand and have it in mind, have intention, think of what you're saying, and then you can continue. Another thing here says the Shulchan Aruch, when we read Shema, we should just read Shema, not doing, come to me, give me something, right? Do all sorts of signals. לפני שבוע, כן. מתי אתה עושה את האוטו? אני אדבר איתו. אוקיי. So we shouldn't do any signs, shouldn't do any signals, just recite Shema, at least for the first part of Shema. I'm going to the next Siman, Samech Daled, 64. And that can happen. What do we do when we have a mistake in the Torah? And Kriyat Shema, we should read on its order. Okay, read on its order. Before we get to the halacha, going to it, where is the Shema written? It's written in Vayomer is written in Bamidbar, right? Vayomer, the last parasha of Shema is written in Bamidbar, the parasha of Tzitzit. And Shema and Ve'ahavta are written in Parashat Vayetchanan in Dvarim. And later, if you go to Parashiyot, so we have the parasha of Vehaya im Shamua. So in the Torah, we have 3 separate parashiyot. The order of the parashiyot, we have the order. First, we should say Shema, Ve'ahavta, which is one parasha, one paragraph. And then we should say Vehaya im Shamua. And then we should say Vayomer. Okay, so that's the order we should read it. If for some reason we mixed it up, so it's fine. Okay, it's fine. But in the psukim itself, if for some reason I'm mixed up between the psukim, so it's not good. I need to read it according to its order. So for example, if I was reading, he wasn't paying attention, he skipped a pasuk, and then he realized 1 second, I skipped the pasuk of Ve'avtat Hashem Lokecha. So he shouldn't just go read the pasuk and then go back to where he was. He should go from where he skipped and then continue on so he reads on the right order. If we know this, some of the parashiyot, some of the psukim are very similar. They're very similar, right? We have what happens if one reads Shema and he's like sometimes happens to us, he's not paying attention so much. He's tired, he had a hard day, he's not paying so much attention. And he doesn't know where he is. He's in the pasuk, okay? He's in the pasuk, and he doesn't know if it's from the first parasha of Ve'ahavta, or if it's in the second parasha of Vehaya im Shamua. So what does he do? Go back to the first parasha. Go back to the first parasha. Okay, go for the first parasha and continue. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. Why did it? So you go back to the first parasha. Okay, and I'm going to the next siman. I'm going to the next siman. Yeah, we have time. We have plenty of time. That also happens to us sometimes. What happens if that brings us to a big topic, but we'll just mention it in a short time. What happens if I stop, if I pause between in the middle of Shema, in the middle of Shmoneh Esrei, in the middle of Birkat Hamazon, in the middle of the Megillah? I read and then stopped for 3 minutes and came back again. For example, I don't know, I was sitting in shul, a kid was crying out, I came out, helped the kid, picked him up, covered the whatever it is, gave him a kiss and a hug, and came back. I didn't talk, I was silent. Do I need to repeat Shema? Or does pausing and being silent in the middle of Shema, does it create a break? There's an argument between the Shulchan Aruch and the Rama. And you should know there's an argument. Sometimes it's hard to remember all the details, but just to know there's an argument. According to the Shulchan Aruch, silence is a problem only in Shmoneh Esrei. Okay, only in Shmoneh Esrei silence is a problem, and only long silence. What's long silence? Enough time to say all of Shmoneh Esrei. So if, for example, I'm a very fast davener, and it takes me 2 minutes to say Shmoneh Esrei, I start Shmoneh Esrei, after a minute I pause for 2.5 minutes, I need to go back to the beginning. That's according to the Shulchan Aruch. But it's only in Shmoneh Esrei. Okay, only in Shmoneh Esrei. According to the Rama, silence can be a problem also in Shmoneh Esrei, also in Shema. Okay, also in Shema. But, and here's the difference, only if there's something which is preventing me from saying Shema. What's the logic behind it? Since I can't say Shema now, it's like I'm now setting my mind off and saying, okay, now I'm getting my mind off Shema. And if I have a long enough break, that's a problem. The main example we have, if someone needs to run to the bathroom, okay, in the middle of Shema. Let's say it takes him 2 minutes to say Shema. While going to the bathroom, he cannot say Shema. There's no way he can say Shema, right? So he was there for 2.5 minutes. He needs to repeat Shema again because he paused in the middle. Okay, so that's the difference between Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah. Shulchan Aruch only in Shmoneh Esrei, Ramah, Ashkenazi, also in Shmoneh Esrei, also in Shema, but only if something is preventing me without my will to say Shema. Okay, that's
Snake is around your leg or your
so a snake. That's a question. Is a snake something which is preventing me, or I decided to say Shema? Okay, maybe I can say Shema. I just decided not to say Shema. So that's a question which is brought more in the halachot of tefillah. The common example is if something filthy which prevents me from saying Shema, I can't say Shema now. Like it's because you can't say words of kedusha around us. Very, very, very common halacha. I davened in the early minyan. Okay, I davened in the early minyan. On Shabbos, I had my shot of whiskey. I had the kiddush. I schmoozed with people. And then I come into shul to get my talis, and exactly when everyone is saying Shema. I fulfilled already the mitzvah of Shema, right? Do I need to say Shema again or not? What do you think? So you don't need to say all of Shema, right? You don't need to say all of Shema because you fulfilled the mitzvah of Shema. I think we mentioned a week or two ago that there's something in Shema of being, there's something in Shema in being, and we have also a prayer with us, so we are recording. Something in Shema of being is everyone together. You can't see people accepting the kingdom of Hashem and saying, okay, thank you very much. You're accepting the kingdom of Hashem. You're saying Shema, I'm out of the game. When we see people accepting the kingdom of Hashem, saying Shema, so we have to say with them. So when one comes into the shul, even if he said Shema already, davened in the early minyan, he finished davening, he's now into the Daf Yomi, and he's sitting in the shul and everyone is learning, saying Shema, the first pasuk he needs to say together with the congregation, with the minyan, the first pasuk. What happens if he now is in the middle of davening? He's a very slow davener. Everyone daven fast, and he's now says Baruch She'amar. He's in the middle of Ashrei Yoshvei V'Techa. In the middle of Ashrei, and then everyone says Shema. Or in Mari, if he came late and he's saying Rabba, he can't stop in the middle and say Shema. So what does he do? So he does as if he pretends, right? He puts his hands on his eyes, and as if he says Shema together with them. So if you look around, you think, okay, he's together with everyone, and also he feels together with everyone. So he'll continue to say Ashrei Techa, right, instead of saying Shema Israel, but he'll be part of the minyan. If he can pause and he can stop to say Shema, let's say he's just coming together, he finished davening, he went to the early minyan, he finished Shema, we said he's obligated to say only the first pasuk. That's his obligation. Says the Shulchan Aruch, if he's not in the middle of davening, so it's better to say all of the Shema. Okay, at least like learning Torah. We learn Torah now. Are we learning Torah? We are getting the merit of learning Torah. Yes. Also Shema, we get the merit of learning Torah. So if one comes to shul and everyone is reciting Shema, although he davened already, he finished Shema, he should say again together with them all of the pasuk, although he's obligated to say only the first pasuk. Okay, so that's something good about that. So we finished also Siman Samech Hei. We finished Siman Samech Hei, and we are moving fast. The next topic is quite a long topic. So we won't start it today. What I'm doing, we won't start today. We'll leave it for next week. I'll skip a bit and just learn one halacha from Samechet, and then with Hashem next week we'll go back. Samechet talks about in the past they used to have all sorts of a bit of piyutim, like songs they used to say during Shema, adding the brachot. We have a bit of it also today. And the Shulchan Aruch says you shouldn't, there's some places where they say all of those, add all the things to the blessing of Shema, and it's better not to add them. If you notice today, we don't have all of the things. The Ramah holds, and I think it's more the culture of the Ashkenazi culture, that they did add all sorts of songs and the piyutim in the blessing. They said that's the culture, that's the minhag, there's no problem with it, you can do it. Okay, so if you see different machzorim that have also, especially Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, underneath the lines, you'll see many different things they used to say. That used to be the old custom of Ashkenaz. The Rama says it's fine. Here in Israel, it's very, very common not to add the things in Shema, just the blessings as Chazal taught us, and that's it. Sometimes on Yamim Noraim, we add maybe one sentence, and that's it. Yeah, we'll conclude.